This is the Tower of Never Sweating, a mid-height and terrifying tower that remains in Ring 9 of Ito, or Eternal Towers of Hell. Allow me to take you on this journey of my grind on this tower and just how much pain and misery this tower really did put me through. This tower is a whole 30 to 40 minutes long with really punishing gameplay. A single fall in this tower will usually send you down to the bottom no matter what. It's also full of ouch bricks and kill bricks and plenty of punishing outside sections. Can I defeat this tower with all odds against me? Let's find out, but first we need to go back to where it all began, years and years ago. It's honestly hard to say for sure when my grind on this tower started. All I know is that it was a couple years ago, maybe back in like 2023 at least, when I started grinding this tower. I originally jumped into this tower thinking it wouldn't take me very long, and it seemed honestly pretty fun at the time. Oh, how I was so wrong about that. The thing about Tons is actually a really easy tower. It's usually not actually terrifying gameplay until you get to 9 and 10. This tower is a complete endurance and punishment test. It is not really that hard of raw gameplay, it is purely punishment based, and I knew this, but decided to go through with it anyways. Originally on the under version of the tower, I would quickly make progress getting to 7, 8, and 9, and even eventually floor 10, before eventually dropping the tower because I just couldn't stand playing through it. I would constantly keep taking breaks and coming back to it, loop failing 9 outside and giving up constantly over and over and over again on this tower. I felt like I would never, ever finish this tower with this rate. I just couldn't get myself to continue to do it. It was so unbearable to play through, and I just couldn't do it. Eventually, they ended up adding button progress to some of the floors to make them a little bit easier to, go through. But even then, I still really couldn't stand this tower's gameplay. Eventually, though, I had to come back to it. I had to finish it. And on one fateful day, after years of failing this tower, I decided to play the tower again after failing at the end of 10 on a really unfortunate run. And I decided to play a run and see where I got to, and, well, sometimes you just gotta keep trying and things will eventually go your way. Floor 1 of the tower actually starts off relatively simple, with some really basic and introducing gameplay. It's not too hard. Though, don't let this tower deceive you. It'll get much harder later on. Do some more basic gameplay here, and then actually you can take a skip you can see me use here. It's not too much help, but it does skip one of the worst parts of floor 1 in my opinion, so I recommend using it as well. Next we have Floor 2, which is where the tower starts to slightly pick up in difficulty a little bit. Floor 2 drags on quite a bit and has some pretty tough sections on it, but if you play this tower for a while, you'll get used to it and it won't really bother you much anymore. After some basic walkarounds, you'll get a magnifying glass which will be used a lot in this tower to help you see fake objects that are technically false. You could also just memorize where they are, but if you don't feel confident about that, you can use a magnifying glass, as it's what it's for anyways. Here you can see me using it near the start of 3. This is basically a glimpse of how the mechanic actually works, and you'll be using it a lot like this in the later parts of the tower. If you're struggling on this walkaround part, I highly recommend you use the strat I use here, as it makes it basically perfectly consistent. Don't fail this walkaround, please. It really hurts. Here on this ice part, I use my first shot of Defroster, which you'll be seeing me use a lot on this tower as it disables Ice Blast and makes the parts a lot easier to do. After some more basic gameplay, we finally get to 4-4, which is the first floor with an outside, which you'll see later on, and the first honestly pretty hard floor of the tower. After a small survival session, we reach the first outside of the tower, which gives you a glimpse of just how punishing this tower is really going to get. If you're struggling with this part, just take the path I do here in the video. I promise you it works. And then you can also use a recovery skip if you know about it, to skip this outside once you've done it. After a relatively easy no jump and slow speed part, we're introduced to 4-5. 4-5 has 3 different challenges on it that all require you to be beaten before you can progress. And of course, they're all outside the frame. I prefer to do this time spinner part first, as I feel like it's the hardest honestly, and the most unforgiving. Next up is the Magnifying Glass one, which isn't too hard as long as you don't overcomplicate it. Just make sure to be careful on some of these jumps because they are kind of tricky and you don't want to fall down to the bottom. After you've touched the button, I recommend just T-posing to the wall here, just skip going on the platform again and just go right to the next challenge, since the next challenge isn't edited and will automatically teleport you if you touch the wall here. After you've pressed all 3, then you can progress to the middle and progress to the tower. They also stay activated, so you can skip the challenges if you get here again after falling. Here, the tower starts to introduce the ouch bricks, which you'll be seeing a lot in this tower, so please make sure to heal and always be wary of them, because they hurt a lot. We're now on 4-6, where you'll be using the Magnifying Glass a lot to see where to go. Please remember where they are and where to go with the Magnifying Glass, and if you don't, just use it, please. This floor is also pretty hard and relatively long, so please watch out for it and practice it. Here I use another 3 of my Defroster shots to make this part really easy so I don't fail it, because this actually ragdolls you when you touch it, and that really risks you falling really far down. I just like to play it safe. A lot of people struggle on this ending part of 6, me included when I first got used to it. If you're struggling with it, just use the strat I do here. It works, it takes a bit to get used to, but eventually you'll get consistent at it. After a relatively easy and simple timer part, you get introduced to Force 7, which starts off with a bunch of random Killbrick spam for whatever reason. After some pretty easy spinner gameplay, you're introduced to the second really punishing outside, being 7 outside. This outside is also relatively tough. I recommend practicing it quite a bit because it is pretty hard. After the outside is a relatively simple button maze. If you don't know how to do it, just follow the path I take here, as it always works. It'll make you get through it as fast as possible. Make sure to avoid the conveyors here, because they're actually not your friend. You may think that they are, but they actually are made to launch you out of the frame with a hidden wall that's on the frame of the tower. Don't fall for this, please. Please don't. After some more basic gameplay, we reach 4-8, which starts off with a really tricky spitter drum and a bunch of kill bricks and stuff for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. After some basic tunnel gameplay, we're introduced to 8 outside, which is still hard and failable, but not as hard and not as long as the other outsides we've experienced so far. After some more basic edge pusher and basic gameplay, we are approaching 4, 9, and 10, the hardest floors of the tower. Here I do a small high jump skip to skip a part that I don't like doing and help save some time. You can do it too if you want, it's really up to you. And with that, we've reached 4, 9, and 10, the hardest floors of the tower. 9, in my opinion, is the harder of the two, having the most hard and punishing outside of the entire tower, in my opinion. 9 outside is no joke, and you should practice it a lot if you want to learn to pass it. After some relatively simple gameplay, you get introduced to this conveyor with ouch bricks thing. I'm not really sure what to call this, but yeah. A lot of people struggle with the jump off the conveyor, so I recommend doing what I do here, and make sure you don't hit the ouch brick too much, but you can actually just jump onto it and jump to the ladder, which makes the jump a lot easier. With that out of the way, we're now on 9 outside, which is in my opinion one of the hardest, if not the hardest part of the entire tower. Please practice this part if you ever try to do this tower. You will need it badly. Good job, you passed the outside. Now you're basically in the clear, as the rest of the 9 isn't actually that hard until we get to 410. Finally, we reached 410, the last and longest for the tower, featuring multiple different challenges, all correlated to their own mechanic and their own punishment. This floor is really long, and you should really practice it when you try to do this tower legit. I wish you the best of luck when you do this tower, and honestly, I think we should just let the gameplay of this floor speak for itself. Let's do this. Here I finally was, standing at the final stretch of Tower Never Sweating, the last part of the entire tower, which also happens to be the most nerve-wracking and probably one of the most nerve-wracking parts in all of Itto. Can I really beat this tower and complete this section? Let's find out, shall we? Yes! Oh my god, finally! Finally! Oh my god! Oh my god! And with that, after years and years of playing this tower, I had finally beaten Tower Never Sweating. This tower was honestly such a hard grind for me, despite my hardest beating Tower of Generation failure. This tower was unlike anything I've ever played before. The demotivation I felt playing this tower and constantly loop failing on it is something I don't think I'll ever experience again. And the way I felt on the final stretch only added even more salt to the wound. Though, I'm glad it's over. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and enjoyed my first take on a Itto video, and I expect to see more from me in the future. Thank you for watching.